Hey everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful day so far. I am just dropping this special little clip into all the episodes. So, no matter what episode you're listening to, this is actually pretty current as of July 2024. I wanted to come on here and just say a big thank you to Earworthy because the Life Shift podcast was just named the best overall podcast of the year in the first Earworthy Independent Podcast Awards. And you've probably seen some articles written about the Life Shift podcast before, written by Earworthy. And now he is launching from his online publication, he is launching these yearly winners of independent podcast awards. And these are specifically for indie podcasters. We are those that wear all the hats. We create the show. Some people write the show. We're producers, sound engineers. We troubleshoot all the tech. We do any kind of research if we need to. We host the shows. We distribute the shows. We do all the things that relate to our shows because we love it. And it's so nice to see my name in a list with some other amazing podcasts like Multispective, which won Best Life Lessons Podcast. Salad with a Side of Fries won Best Health Podcast. Bippity Boppity Business won Best Business Advice Podcast. And there are so many more. And so I just want to come on here and say thank you to Earworthy for not only doing these awards every year and just honoring some of us indie podcasters that sometimes feel like we're just shouting into the void, but we're not. We're just doing what brings us joy, and hopefully through that work it brings other people joy. In my case, for the Life Shift, I hope that each episode finds the ears that needed to hear it the most so that they feel a little less alone in their circumstance. But also, Earworthy writes all these amazing publications pretty much weekly, every week, every weekday, I should say, where he writes on Blogger, Medium, Substack, Tumblr, Vocal, Many Stories, and for other places. And he really just highlights the independent podcasters. So thank you, Frank, for everything you do with Earworthy and for recognizing all of us in the first Earworthy Independent Podcast Awards. If you'd like to read more, please head to medium.com/EAR hyphen WORTHY. Thanks again and enjoy this episode. I'm Matt Gilhooly, and this is The Life Shift. Candid conversations about the pivotal moments that have changed lives forever. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Life Shift podcast. I'm Matt Gilhooly, and this is a bonus episode. And what I wanted to do here is come back and create another recap episode. This time, we're going to be focusing on episodes 33 to 60. And so if you are a listener of the Life Shift podcast, you're probably familiar with what I do at the end of every episode. Pretty much at the end of every episode, I ask the guests to think back to that person that they were right around the time of their life shift moment and ask them if there's anything that they could say or do for that person that might help them on their journey moving forward through that moment. Sometimes I'll ask the guest to provide advice to someone that might be going through something similar. So the clips in this episode will focus around those two areas. In this bonus episode, you're going to hear from individuals that were on the episode starting in September 2022 through May 2023. And so that is a long time, and you may not remember some of these episodes. You might have skipped some of these episodes. So if something intrigues you, check out the show notes because I will share the order in which people have talked about their moments, and hopefully you can go back and check out the full episode. I want to thank you all for listening, but I especially want to thank my generous guests for coming onto the show and sharing these deeply personal episodes and their stories with us. I never know what we're going to talk about when we go into these conversations. I asked for a simple sentence or two from my guests about kind of what the idea of their life shift moment might be, but I don't want to know too much because I truly think that we need to have more of these conversations just out in the world. And I want these episodes to sound like you're just listening in on two people having a real human conversation. So I hope that that is what's happening, and that when you listen to these episodes, you find inspiration or you feel just a little less alone or just some part of their story resonates with you. I know for a fact that every story has a person out there looking and listening for something so that they can feel a little less alone in their circumstances. So thank you for allowing me to do this. Thank you to the Patreon members for supporting the show, whether it's just a monthly support and you get nothing in return, or for those of you that are sponsoring 2 episodes a month. All of it means so much so that I can continue improving and upgrading on the things that I have for this show, whether it's equipment or software or marketing or any of those kind of pieces. I do it all from beginning to end, and any support is super helpful. So thank you for that. So without further ado, I want to share this bonus episode, which will be a recap of some of the great responses that my guests have when I ask them, if you could go back to that person before that life shift moment, what would you say?
Oh, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
Because you probably felt at that moment that everything...
Nothing could be okay ever again.
Yeah. I mean, it really kind of comes down to one question to me. And I don't know if I would have been smart enough to answer it at the time. What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
You would have been smart enough to answer it, but I think your answer would have been related to what you had been told.
I want to go on a mission. No. What do you want to do? Why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
You want to help others? Help others.
I would tell her not to look at the big picture. It's just too overwhelming. You can't look at the big picture. Focus on today. Focus on what you are responsible for and in control of, what you can change. You can't worry about everyone else, and you can't worry about who was right, who was wrong. I think a lot of people going through divorce get trapped in that cycle of who's right, who's wrong. Nobody's right or wrong. It's divorce. Mm-hmm. It's awful. It's terrible. And if you try to win or think that you're the better person, that's just only going to hold you back from healing. And learning to just accept that. I wish I could have accepted that much earlier on, because it would have made my life so much easier.
I think I would go to around the 6th grade, 7th grade age of her, because that's when, like I said, the speech really started to be noticeable. And, you know, some people would make fun of it, sort of mimic. Actually, it was if you remember the Charlie Brown cartoons, the teacher, whenever the teacher would talk, it would be blah, 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 blah. That's what, you know, one boy in particular really liked to do whenever he heard me speaking. And, you know, you just want the ground to open up and swallow you. So I think it would be, for her, just keep going. Just keep going. It's going to work out in ways you could never have imagined. Just keep going.
I would tell myself, the Jackie in Hawaii, that life isn't this like perfect package or like linear, you know, timeline. You hit this. It's messy, but that's like part of it, right? And when you go through some really challenging times and then you get to like the other side, it is so sweet, and it's gonna get there. It might take some time, but it's gonna get there. So I would say that.
I would tell younger me to just say yes. You know, get on the bus. Just say, yeah, I'm going to do it, and get on the bus. Say, yeah, I'm going to talk to this person. It's those moments which I wasn't consciously thinking of, where I was like, yeah, I'll just send this email. Yeah, I'll just book a flight. Yeah, I'll just go get a coffee. That's when, you know, I found the career I loved. That's when I went on, you know, a life-changing experience. That's when I met my wife. You know, it's all of these moments it's when you don't think and you don't over-process that life tends to take you in the craziest and most amazing direction.
What I found is I've got a baby Ryan within me that I do a great job of keeping covered, keeping protective, and part of therapy is connecting with that kind of baby Ryan, if you will, or younger version of me. But one of the things that I actually try to do, and I'm fairly conscientious about this, is I try to hang out with the 5-year-old version of myself and the 10-year-old version of myself. Like, I live in Southern California. I love going to the beach. I actually try to go to the beach by myself every once in a while, because I'm bringing 5-year-old me and 10-year-old me, and we're hanging out. I'm spending time with them in a way my dad didn't spend time with me.
Yeah. I didn't even have to think about it. 3 simple words. I would just say, I love you, right? Literally goosebumps. I would just say, I love you. That's something I've done quite often in regards to like inner child meditations and whatnot. And while those are specifically geared toward me at a much, much, much younger age, I think I just needed to hear that and feel that even in my 20s. I thought about this the other day, right? I got a hug from my mom, and I caught myself kind of holding on to that, and I was just like, this felt really good. And then one of my best friends, his father had passed away recently, and at his wake, I hugged my buddy. It was the longest hug I've had in recent time. I would literally just say, I love you.
I'd be like, girl, just buy some hair, stick it on your head, and rock it. And you're going to be awesome no matter how you look, no matter if you have one strand of hair on your head or a big thick head of hair. It doesn't matter.
Do you think you would listen at that point?
Maybe a little part of me would listen. The other part of me would just be like, but I want hair. It'd be like that whiny, 11-year-old in my head.
Well, I would definitely tell her that everything is going to work out, but I would give her the heads up about something that I learned many years ago, which is we tend to get attached to the worst version of ourselves because it's comfortable. And we do have a best version of ourselves that is available for us if we do the work. So I would say that to her. You're going to be okay, but don't get attached to this bad version of yourself. We are all capable to do wonderful things, and we are all capable to do nasty things. And it's our choice to decide which route we're going to take. I could have been a total different person. I could have poisoned my kids against their dad. I could have allowed my anger and my frustration to spill everywhere, and I would be a very different person right now. And I make the conscientious choice to be a better person. I used to say I'm working on my wings. That's what I'm doing. I'm working on my wings. And if somebody else betrays me, that's on them. Because I know in my heart that I did my best to be the best version of myself. And if it wasn't appreciated, it's their loss. It's not my loss. I'm already in a different level. I'm already in a different vibration. And that's where I want to be.
Starting a business or figuring out your career or just life in general. I heard a really good analogy one time that it's like driving a car at night. When you're driving a car at night, you can only see as far as the headlights will show you. But you can travel hundreds or thousands of miles that way and have no idea of the roadblocks and the construction and the detours and the accident and all that's going to happen up ahead. You don't want to know any of that stuff. Like, again, I love my life, but I don't have some 5-year or 10-year plan of I know exactly how it's going to, because I'm driving a car at night and I have a pretty good idea of like what this week and the next couple of weeks are going to hold and have some rough idea of what I hope the next few, but like you think about things like a pandemic, like nobody's sitting around going like, all right, 2020, buckle up because here it comes. Like nobody knows that.
You are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. And there's something so much better when you take that leap.
And would that version of you believe this version?
I don't know. She would want to, but I don't know that she would.
That's a good question. I think this version of me would want to be able to hold his hand and tell him that it's going to be okay. As a 7-year-old, I was bouncing off the walls. I wasn't able to, I couldn't connect the way I could connect now. And I wish that I would have been able to like put my arm around him, be there. And I was there in my own way, right? I don't think my brother felt that I wasn't there, right? But I think, and that's something that I struggle with, is thinking back to like did I tell him I loved him? Did he know I loved him? Did he know how important he was to me? Did he just think I was the annoying brother up until all this happened? You know, like, I would have just wanted to be able to sit there and like everyone else, put a hand on him and be like, okay, all right. I think that's the version of me now would go back and do that.
I would tell that version of me, everything's going to be okay. But I wouldn't give that person any advice whatsoever, because I don't want that to affect his decisions and all the things that led me here. You know, I have no regrets, because every single decision, you know, shaped who I am today, and I love who I am today. So I would give zero advice and just say, don't worry, everything's going to be okay.
Man, what would I say to 28-year-old Matt, or any younger version of Matt before that time? If 45-year-old Matt gets into the teleporter and goes back and talks to 28-year-old Matt, and I would say the same thing that I'm sharing right now, is that you can do it. Keep working on yourself. Keep working on your own game, because there is hope and you can do it. I would give the same piece of advice I give to everyone now, is that there is a way when we're curious. Just keep searching, you know, and that would be it. That would be what I would share now. I don't think that I could go back and give a piece of advice that would probably change Matt at that place, because I think I had to go through all the stuff I've been through to get to here. But if I could go back and share that thought, I'd say just keep up doing what you're doing, and keep learning, keep growing.
It's been really incredible to do. And I really I can't imagine what things would have looked like if I hadn't said yes to that, even though it did scare me. And now seeing how much that it has really paid off. I'm definitely a very risk averse kind of person. I'm like, oh, you want me to do what? Yeah, no. But I think if you have enough psychological safety and you have people around you that, you can talk to about, when things suck or whatever. In this case, Wayne believed I could do it, so I did it.
I would say just go. I mean, don't even think about it, and I think I would say, as far as like advice for her is, look deeper into your opportunities when you get there. I might tell her that there's going to be a few more steps, but you're going to be in a place that you cannot even fathom right now. There's more than hope on the other side of this. There's much more than just hope on the other side. I've done some inner child work and meditations for inner child, and it surprised me. That's the thing. She just needed a big hug and to know she wasn't alone.
That's a good question. And I knew you were going to ask that question because I've listened to your podcast. I think that it would be, I know everything feels really scary right now and you don't know what's going on, but you have people who love you and who are going to look out for you, and you are going to be okay one day. You will one day see your dad again. And even if you can't see him, he sees you and sees everything that you are going to become. And life is not going to be easy, but life isn't going to always be this hard.
The world has changed from when I was a 19-year-old kid. Everything is at your fingertips now. If the things that make you happy, there's no reason you can't do that at night when you get home. There's no reason. You don't have to change your full-time job to express your creativity. I often tell people to give back Tuesday nights. So if you have a goal you're trying to achieve, give back Tuesday nights. And you say, I'm going to dedicate a minimum of 1 hour a week to me. Tuesday nights, I'm going to give myself from 8 to 9 o'clock, and I'm going to learn a new skill, or I'm going to paint, or I'm going to mix music, or I'm going to write, or I'm going to go for a run, whatever it is, things that are going to help you get to whatever that goal is.
I've been thinking about this question a lot. I think I would say to her, because I'm looking at a lot of teachers now and wondering what advice I would give them, is I would seek a coach. I would seek somebody who can see where you are, ask you what you want, and give you some guidance on how you might get there.
Like I said, I start when I was 8 or 9, and it even goes before that, because it probably starts at the first time I saw my parents fight, and I don't mean fight as in like, oh, I hate you and I hate you. I mean like punching, scratching, hitting, but it's like each of those little grains of sand stack and stack and stack until it makes a mountain, and it's learning to deal with it in that moment. And so it really does go back all the way to that point, and it's like fixing with a Band-Aid or duct tape or something else. You're masking the issue until a point that you can't put enough duct tape in the world on it to fix it. And now it kind of explodes and you have to deal with it. And instead of letting it get to that point, it's figuring out that everyone is suffering and everyone's suffering in a different way. And you need to find a healthy outlet for that. I didn't have resources there for me for dealing with my dad's death. And at 16 years old, I looked like I was 22, 23. I could go buy beer at a gas station because they wouldn't ID me because I looked like a grown person. So people probably had some of that, like, well, suck it up, buttercup. You're going to get over it. It's going to be okay. Like you can talk to somebody, there's resources, but I didn't know. So I didn't have any of that stuff available. And it's like, if we had those resources at the time, I think we could have fixed the problem at a young age and learned the positive way to handle those circumstances and not have to come out in the end as a 30-year-old who's going through, one of the worst moments of their life.
Is what if you went back to that 17-year-old version of you that was like, I want to go do an English 3-week thing. And you told her, hey, you and your husband in 2022 are about to travel the world living your dream life. How do you think that conversation would go?
I think she would be pretty excited because she already wanted to travel the world at that time. New York was definitely like the first part. I think she would be excited. And you know what? I think part of it would not be surprised actually about the American husband, because I always felt when I was growing up that I was almost an outsider of my own country, which is kind of weird to say that, because like I said, like it's great to see both worlds, but I always felt very close to American mentality for a lot of things, which is the fact that you guys are always very positive and you guys love to celebrate. There's this strong feeling of, celebrating, having fun. The problem was that the other part of mentality of the US is that there is this corporate and kind of like you have to be inside the box. But the one thing that even if you're inside that box and like even if you're like, in this world that we're kind of forcing you to be in there, you guys still try to like see the best part. If we were telling me this, I would be like, cool, because you guys are pretty cool people. I mean, there's probably things we don't agree on, but otherwise it's, if I had to choose another country that, I'll become a citizen one day of the US, is like, yeah, I like that. Yeah. I like to choose this one.
I'm pretty happy with how this has all turned out. Good for you for experimenting. I mean, the amount of confidence I took from still building what we built, knowing deep down in my heart that look, I'm just like going back to it. Like there were still some very critical benefits that my partners brought.
Yeah.
Like they were adults. I was not an adult. They looked like adults. Our price point went up because I had adults with me. They were 12 to 15 years older than me. I am grateful for that.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like throw yourself in these situations. You're not going to find round peg, round hole. It's never going to be perfect. You just kind of have to like make the most of the situation. But like you can't do that from the sideline. You got to do it from like jumping in the water and seeing where it takes you. And so I would maybe high five myself and say, dude, wow, that was good for you. That was not a perfect dealt hand and whatever is. And like, you still managed to like make some pretty cool things and hire some pretty amazing people and do some pretty cool things from a city known for fish tacos. Way to go.
I think what I think about in that season of life is, as much as I love my parents and they were wonderful parents, what they were not is they were not like a mentor. They were parents. So I guess what I'd say to that younger self is try to find a mentor. All of humanity can benefit from is having someone who can mentor you, which it could be a parent, but sometimes it's not. Like in my case, it wasn't.
What's coming to mind for me is just like embrace this opportunity, right? This is what you asked for, and embrace this opportunity and have fun with it. See how it goes.
I would say things are going to happen that are going to be really hard, but never, ever, ever forget who you are, and you're going to get through it and you're going to grow from it, and it's just going to shape and change you. So anytime something goes the way that you don't want it to, just know that it is a better thing for you down the road, and it's just going to shape you into the person that you're going to become. So just keep doing you. You're going to be just fine.
I think I would have said to her, something great will come of it. It's not the end of the world. Just be diligent about your care, do your homework. And that's kind of what I did. I mean, I was diligent about doing research, because a lot of what they were telling you, now I get it. Like if you ever watch a television show where someone goes through cancer, and it actually, every show I've seen was accurate. Like they used terms that I remembered. So yeah, doing your homework, and obviously ask for help if you need it, and you have, know your support base. Luckily I was able to do all that.
Off the cuff, straight up honest with you, I would tell past Christina, cut your hair, do whatever you want to do to your body. It does not matter, because it is your body. It does not impact anyone else, and you will still be the person you want to be, including, well, you'll still be the person you want to be. Let's just say that. I think what I would also say to some degree is not to be cliche, so I wouldn't want to use these exact words, but it gets better. It's okay to be authentically you, no matter what. Just do it.
For more information, please visit www.thelifeshiftpodcast.com.